yesterday, Vince McMahon announced that all of his superstars, this goes for NXT as well, any superstars that are using different social media platforms such as like YouTube, Cameo, Twitch, TikTok, the list goes on, to tell his superstars for no longer to use those sites. And a lot of fans, including myself, and stars and superstars in the back are extremely upset about this because honestly, the reason why I'm extremely pissed off about is that who the hell does Vince think he is? Who are you to say that AJ Styles, Xavier Woods, Paige, Dakota Kai, Cesaro, Tyler Breeze, like the list goes on and on and on. Who are you to say that you cannot let these superstars use these platforms to get their names across? Because seriously, right now, you sound like a fucking dictator. And it's completely fucked up. You have no right to tell these people to not use these social media platforms. Because for example, the main person that I think should be the most upset about this is Xavier Woods, because Up, Up, Down, Down is a highly successful platform that he has created since 2013 into 2014 that I personally watched week after week. He's been getting over 2 million subscribers and counting. And you're going to tell him that I can't use Up, Up, Down, Down, or else I will be fired? Vince literally said that if you do not get rid of all of this within 30 days, by October 2nd, the latest, you will be fired. So you're going to tell AJ Styles not to use Mixer. You're going to tell Dakota Kai not to use Twitch, in which she uses her own Twitch account to raise awareness for the LGBTQIA community. Like, that is so fucked up. And the icing on the cake yesterday, former U.S. presidential candidate Andrew Yang called Vince out on his bullshit, and he has decided to take action on what he did. From a political standpoint, we have seen many political names say something and then did not bring it into fruition. For Andrew Yang specifically, he said that he is a diehard wrestling fan. I respect him on that. But from a political standpoint, you better stand on what you say. Because if you're doing this, and if you take this to court, this brings it to a whole different ballgame. I will not be surprised if for Andrew Yang, he could seriously use the stars, WWE stars, like, I'm just throwing names out there, like AJ Styles, Dakota Kai, and S.A. Page, just to name a few, to testify against Vince, because Andrew Yang knows that the stars, such as the people that I just named, could go against Vince, despite the fact that they work for Vince.
I don't know about. Sorry to interrupt you there, buddy, but I don't know if most of the wrestlers under Vince's payroll and WWE's payroll, they're gonna go so far as to testify against him and their place of employment, because they're not gonna. Go ahead.
Yeah, but here's the thing: when it comes to the court system, I've been watching criminology since I was 13 years old. In the world of the court system, they play dirty, and they will do whatever it takes to win their case. They will seriously do whatever it takes to win their case, even if it means using your own family against you, using your own friends against you, using your own co-workers against you. They will do it. I have seen it on TV. I have seen it in real life. They will seriously do this.
Right, because they'll pretty much force them to do so.
They will force them to do this. And with the power, the political power that Andrew Yang has behind in his back pocket, he will seriously do this. He will seriously do this. That's why when it comes to court, like seriously, when it comes to WWE, it doesn't even matter. The fact that it could possibly go to court, and the fact that the superstars could be used against him, the superstar can be used against Vince, is a whole nother ballgame. And the kinds of questions they will use against Vince, they will say, "Oh, why are you using the power of WWE, of your own power, of your own chair as chairman of the board, to have this superstar no longer use Twitch, no longer use YouTube, no longer use TikTok, and that sort of thing, not be in their repertoire of how to be a real human being, to use these platforms to get their names across? How do you think Up, Up, Down, Down became successful? How do you think that Page becomes successful? Did you know that Page is getting way, way more money in Twitch than WWE? Did you know that?
Not surprising.
Because
Not surprising.
Paige said this in her Twitch, because I actually watched her on Twitch. She does her shit.
I don't think Paige is making a shit ton of money from the very limited appearances we see in her role in the company. I don't think so.
And that's why she's using Twitch. That's why she's using Twitch, because Twitch is a big platform for gamers and because I have friends who stream and stuff like that. I have friends such as Matt TJ Hatter, he streams, shout out to him. I have my friends called Luciano, shout out to him, and so on and so forth. And they use Twitch to get their names across and their gaming platforms up and rising. So the fact that you're using WWE stars are using Twitch and YouTube as an example to get their names across is a big, big deal, and to get their personalities out there, which makes us, the wrestling fans, get to know them much, much better. Outside. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So in terms of this, I'm all I do not want them to get fired all because of this, because this is honestly ridiculous. And I hope that Andrew Yang sticks to his word about doing this, because he literally has all the capabilities to make this follow through. And remember what I said, if it does follow through, the court system is dirty as hell. And they will use, no matter the people, no matter the circumstances, no matter the values in this, to bring this, to make this a huge, huge case.
Yep, I definitely agree, man. Yep. And when I first heard about the story, when the story first came into place last night, that I knew this was something we just had to begin the show off with this week, as it can possibly be the start of, as it could possibly be the start of something much bigger, as Yang outright called Vince and the company out for their practices that they've been able to get away with for the entirety of their existence. So just to break it down to you guys, no health insurance unless you work for corporate and not as an on-screen talent. If a wrestler gets hurt or injured outside the ring or anywhere off duty, WWE does not pay for their medical bills or treatment for surgery. I should say. They do pay for when an injury occurs inside the ring, like during any given match or on any of their live events. They'll cover that. So, just to cover their asses on that front. And not only on health, the company doesn't like it when their talent takes opportunities from outside ventures without their consent beforehand, or if it doesn't fit in with what they want to promote in their agenda. CM Punk even revealed his own story of events about this when he was the WWE champion all those years ago, where he wanted to be part of this action movie that I'm not really sure which one it was off the top of my head, but he went to management and let them know this, and they said that they needed him for an upcoming tour since he was the top champion at the time. And Punk ended up doing the tour, and WWE sent Randy Orton to get this role in the movie. The same freaking role. They pick and choose who they want to see go out and represent the company by being cast in movies and obtain all these sponsorships. All this, and keep in mind something, all of this came about after WWE revealed that they are banning their stars from engaging in third-party apps that they have no control over, like Twitch and TikTok accounts, the individual accounts that the superstars have on their own time. The wrestlers do this on their own time. WWE sees this, and fearing that they have no control over what they say and do on these platforms at all, they outright prohibited their talent from using them anymore. That's another source of income and a way to expose themselves out to the world and build their own brand now gone.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to call them independent contractors. Really.
Exactly. Like, honestly, I'm a fan of WWE, but for the fact that they're doing this, they could go fuck themselves for doing that, because honestly, they have, like, seriously, I'm really upset about this. They have no right to do this at all. And that's, like, seriously, if I was AJ Styles, if I was Dakota Kai, if I was Paige, if I was Cesaro,
any of these superstars, yeah,
I would be fucking livid.
Yeah. Especially
like,
the ones that are lower on the card and want to build their brand that way, because they're not being used enough on television.
Exactly. And Xavier Woods said, like, once I'm done with WWE, I will still continue to do up, up, down, down. And I believe him, because he put in work in up, up, down, down, from celebrity interviews, going to gaming conventions, from like getting his name out there. Like, yo.
Mm-hmm.
On to the next before I get pissed off. Go.
Yeah, but before we do that, I just want to bring this up to speed with anyone listening. That you guys got to keep this in mind, that there was the straw that broke the camel's back in this instance was Vince growing furious over AJ Styles on his Twitch live stream. I guess he was doing there sometime throughout this week, when he plays games on there. He live streams himself playing video games. He's a big video game fanatic. Good for him. Mm-hmm. And at one point during a particular live stream, he actually he likes to answer fan questions, like to pass the time. Mm-hmm. And he actually revealed at one point during the live stream that he had COVID-19, and you know, it was something that I don't know if he still has it, or he's cured of it, or
he said he's good now. He said on Mixer that I had it a few weeks ago. I was positive at the time. Now I'm negative, but he's good. He was on SmackDown yesterday, so like he's good. He's good.
Yeah, I hope so. And yeah, on account of AJ doing that, Vince found out and was just livid over it. And I guess that was the big tipping point for Vince outright banning his talent from using third-party apps on their own, because they have no control over it. Vince, for damn sure, he was pissed. Keep in mind, guys, he was pissed a few months ago when Renee Young took to social media and revealed that she had COVID back when she was still working for the company.
Because
they don't want them to know that.
He's petty as hell. Vince is extremely petty. He will seriously take the most littlest thing and then make it a big deal for no reason. Perfect example was this.
Exactly. Who is Vince McMahon and anybody in the company really to determine, oh, you can't say that you had COVID out to the public?
Exactly.
Like, if anything, we like to, I mean, if anything, all signs point to them being the reason why they got COVID in the first place, with their shitty handling of it. And we've touched on this before on the show. It's so stupid. So good on Andrew Yang for calling them out on how they've been operating for a long ass time. And I hope that Vince really gets worried about the government coming down on him for this.
All I'm saying is for Andrew Yang, he better follow through, or else we're gonna have a problem. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yes, and I absolutely think that Vince should be worried 100%, because nobody was in the past who has ever called Vince out on, like, not paying their talents proper health insurance or anything like that, or making sure that they pay their medical costs. They never really take it to second gear all that much. Yep. Like, when one wrestler calls him out and we never hear from them again, or Vince outright wins the whole thing. So, like, it's like with Jesse Ventura all those decades ago. He called him out for it. He took him to court, but Vince won in the end.
Right.
And but this could be the big catalyst for it. This could be the proper situation, because Andrew Yang is a big fucking name in the political world.
He is.
He has resources. He knows people in politics. He will rain down on Vince and his company for getting away with this.
Yep.
Because from the looks of it, he really seems to care, and he wants the best for these wrestlers.
He does care, but the thing is, just because you say it doesn't mean you're gonna follow through. You gotta follow through. You gotta follow through about what you say, and if you don't back it up, people are gonna look at you and I'm like, "Yo, bro, what? Like, you say this, and now you're not gonna do anything." So, like, you really gotta follow through. You have to follow through, because now
you got everybody's hopes going.
Yeah, and now the public knows, because of what Vince did. Vince has been trending for now almost 2 days because of what he said.
Yep.
So, like, and now since Andrew Yang said his piece, I'm like, yo, follow through, do what you got to do, and then fix it. Because even Yang knows that this is not fair, and it's not fair to the superstars.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And with him calling them out on this bullshit, then a lot of people that were not in the know absolutely know what's going on. How WWE have been operating for so long now.
Yeah.
By not giving their talents proper care.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be exactly what's needed. If there's enough of a revolt and a revolution out of this and an outcry over it, definitely something's going to change. Vince may be stubborn, but even I know he's got a breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it works out for the best. And with that, welcome to episode 34 of the Wrestling Hypothesis podcast, here for your Saturday, September 5th, 2020. Yes, you guys are getting the show a day early in advance, early on in this weekend. I'm the ABA, of course. Joining me as always is, well, just Richard.
Just me.
Yeah.
What's up, y'all? How are you doing? Yeah. Don't forget to go down below, subscribe, like, comment what you like, what you don't like, see what we can do.
Yep.
Make sure you ring the bell so that you can get all those notifications on YouTube to see all things Wrestling Hypothesis.
Yep. So you can get bonus content as well as full-on episodes of the proper podcast, such as this one. So.
And also next week, and I'm saying this, next week is our extra what episode?
8,
which we will straight up talk about All Out, hands down, very, very soon. And also some news that we have following Labor Day weekend.
Yes, well, I was actually hoping, I guess I didn't inform you, I was hoping we could do All Out review tomorrow.
Oh, we could do that. But
yeah, so people get to hear our thoughts firsthand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do that. And yeah, it's pretty much just the two of us going hand in hand this week for the show. Ricardo, King Kenny, and Tara are not able to join us this week, but that's all good because they'll be able to join us soon enough.
Yep.
But business as usual, guys. As you guys know, this podcast is available to listen to on various podcast platforms out there, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Breaker, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, and our YouTube channel, such as here. The 7th installment of Wrestling Hypothesis Extra went up on YouTube this past Wednesday, where me and Ricardo touched on the news of Brock Lesnar no longer under contract to WWE and predicting what his future looks like. Mm-hmm. And a special debate we did on there, talking of who the better NXT champion was between Finn Balor and Adam Cole.
Adam Cole!
Yeah. Yeah, if you heard my takes, then you know for damn sure it ain't Adam Cole. But if you want to hear our takes on that, you can check out episode 7 of Extra here on our YouTube channel. And like Richard said, please like, share, and subscribe. Everything we do.
And ring the bell.
Yes, and ring the bell. If you're listening via Apple Podcasts, please be sure to give us a star rating on there, as well as some thoughts on what you think of our show. Any feedback is welcome from us. And if you haven't done so already, you can check out any of our older episodes in the archives using any of the platforms I mentioned earlier, as well as visiting our own website, anchor.fm/wrestling-hypothesis. Now, before we get started, quick happy birthday shout out goes to Richard and Ricardo, my two boys right there.
26.
Yeah, the big 26.
26. Got a shitload of presents. 2 Triple H posters. 2 Triple H posters. My Hero Academia merchandise. Overhaul all day. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Overhaul is late as hell. But it was a great birthday. Thank you.
I'm glad it was, man. Yeah, diehard Triple H and anime fan over there. So now everyone knows.
Diehard Triple H fan. I'll defend Triple H to the grave.
Right. Believe me, I've found out the hard way. But
damn right you did.
Yeah, I did. I'll admit it. But that's neither here nor there. Let's just get into the news, Richard. Go ahead, man.
Okay, so to start off, there's been rumors going around about Roman Reigns. So for Roman Reigns, as we know, we're now in September. So last week, he won the Universal Championship at Payback by defeating Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. So the rumor that's going around between him is that at WrestleMania. They want Roman Reigns to hold the Universal Championship until Mania, which I don't mind. Honestly, I really don't. But his opponent, rumors been circling that Big E might be his opponent. And honestly, this goes back to what we said a couple of episodes ago. Big E said that he will not believe his push until it actually comes to fruition. Big E and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, to me, honestly, is perfect. And here's why. The reason why is because the story is there. Everything is there. Because if you've been watching Talking Smack, he said that I don't want to be like Roman Reigns and John Cena. He said word for word, I want to be the type of person that still has that my personality, because he said the personality that you see right now, like with New Day and everything, the personality that you see right now is literally what I am in real life. He wants to bring that personality into the ring, and the minute he is in the ring, he is serious. The fact that he could possibly face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship is actually a big, big deal. And honestly, this is where the Royal Rumble comes into play. With the Royal Rumble coming into play in January, if Big E wins the Royal Rumble, you have your SmackDown main event at WrestleMania. Big E against Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. The story is there. The story is there. Roman Reigns with his new heel tactics, he's gonna say to Big E, I'm like, oh, why now? Like, in terms of his big push and stuff like that, you don't believe it to see what happens. Now it's your chance to prove me wrong. Literally, this will be Big E's chance to prove us wrong of what we wanted him to say, like to change his persona, to change his wrestling style, to change the way he is, and so on and so forth. That if Big E wins the Royal Rumble in January, he has to prove us wrong. If he could actually win the Universal Championship against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, because I think it could actually happen.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. Big E getting this push, we've spoken at length before about on the show before, just a few episodes ago, I believe, like Richard said. We had our gripes with the idea of him getting a mega push at this stage in his career after what he's been doing as of late. Mm-hmm. But you can't deny that the guy is mega talented. Like through a 6-year stint with the New Day, alongside Kofi and Xavier Woods, he has built up his presence, his charisma, his character, and his promo ability. And when he wants to, he could still show aggression and intensity in his matches, just like he did with Sheamus at Payback last weekend.
Exactly.
Like Big E brought it. And that was actually a nice big Haas battle. You know, that was something we were legit interested to see.
Mm-hmm. Because this man can talk. Like, you get, like, seriously, Big E can talk. Big E could do well in the ring. He has great personality. The fans love him. I'm like, yo, this dude has everything. But can he win the big one? That's the question. Like, can he literally win the big one? Because, like I said, like he said multiple times, and he said himself that he's tired of saying it. Like, I'm former NXT champion, former Intercontinental champion. Yeah, I may be a tag team specialist, but yo, I want to win the big one. Now with like everything else that's going on, Big E can seriously be the next top name in the company if they really push it for him. If they really do it. Because guess what? Here's what everyone did not know. Last year, literally around SummerSlam time, they were going to break up the New Day, have Big E turn heel, and have Big E go through this monster push towards the title. But the reason why they didn't do it was because they did not like the fact, because if they break up the New Day, merchandise sales will go down. Sales will go down. Their name will go down, and like all that stuff, because New Day is still top 5, even top 3 of best merchandise sales, because we know in WWE from a business standpoint, if the merchandise is going up, you're getting a push. If the merchandise is going down, you're not getting a push. It's been proven for this for years.
That would have been an interesting idea if they went with that. But at the same time, I definitely see why they decided to not really go for that move, because like you said, it's going to hurt them in other aspects. But this isn't all that surprising to me that this is in the works as a future Universal title program. They've had an interest in pushing Big E as a megastar. It was a case of when, not if. And Reigns, once he won the Universal title at Payback last weekend, which, by the way, I kind of thought was bullshit the way he did. He showed up. They let the Fiend and Braun Strowman do the work for like a good 95% of the match. Roman comes out and apparently thinks it's treated the match like it's the contract for the match, like it's fucking Money in the Bank, and cashed in and just won the match.
But here's the thing about that, what he did. First things first, the match was awful.
Oh, yes.
The match was awful. But here, yeah, people may be upset about what Reigns did, but guess what? It got you talking because Reigns is now a heel. The heel tactic. What I love about heels is that whatever they do to get us talking. What Reigns did at Payback, he saw the ring collapse. They do this, they do that. He comes out, he signs a contract, he goes in, he spears Strowman, and then he leaves. That moniker that he kept saying, wreck everyone and then leave. And then last night on SmackDown, that bomb ass promo he said, and that other moniker he said, shut up and win. No, show up and win. I'm sorry, show up and win. I'm like, yo, I'm fucking with this Roman Reigns heavy because
I am too. It's just I don't think it was properly. I just thought it was a mess up the way they booked him to win the title. Yeah, I get it. He's a heel. I get it. He's a heel, but why? But what? The heels can't look dominant. Heels can't kick ass anyways. They're always going to be like the chicken shit, take the easy way out kind of heels. Like that's it's kind of lame. It's kind of cliche to me.
Yeah, chicken shit. But son, we had fantastic heels back in the day that did the same thing. Perfect example that did this so many times was Triple H. He did this so many times, and that's why, in my opinion, he's one of the greatest heels WWE's ever had, even like top heel. But along with that, with the heel tactics that Roman Reigns did last night, and the fact that now at Clash of Champions, which is honestly going to be very, very interesting. If to anyone listening to this that did not watch SmackDown, Roman Reigns is defending the Universal Heavyweight Championship. He's now saying it like Paul Heyman. The Universal Heavyweight Championship against his own cousin in Jey Uso. I'm not going to lie. This was extremely surprising. But also interesting. The reason why is because Jey Uso is a tag team specialist, right? We've never, ever seen him in a singles standpoint. And the fact that you're facing your own cousin at Clash of Champions for the Universal Championship, this is his biggest match in his entire career. Not because he's facing Roman Reigns. It's because he's facing him for the top title in the brand.
No, and it's because he's facing Roman Reigns.
No, the reason why I'm not saying this is because he faced him before singularly. That's why I'm saying that. But the reason why I'm saying this interesting, I'm saying like, yo, what can Jey Uso, now when I'm saying this, what can Jey Uso do by himself as a singles competitor to make him stand out, to make us take him more seriously? This is quote unquote the Big E route that you're using with Jey Uso. We all know who's going to lose.
Take a tag team specialist and give them a
singles
bit of
run.
A push.
Give them a push. This is technically a Big E singles run. Take a tag team specialist, put him against a top star, against a top title, and see what he goes from there. What is Jey gonna do? What is he gonna say? What is he going to act like? This is something he really needs to do within the next 4 weeks. Yeah, the next 4 weeks.
Something like that. Yeah.
To make him serious. And let's be real. We all know he's gonna lose. But it will be interesting to see what he's going to bring to the table.
No, I agree with that notion, but at the same time, they're gonna have to do a good amount to get me to really care about this match. Like, am I intrigued because of the family dynamic, kind of, I guess, but at the same time, it's like, it's Jey Uso. It's a tag team specialist. We've never seen him in this role. He's kind of unproven in it as a tag team wrestler with his brother Jimmy. One of the best I've ever seen. Don't get me wrong.
Jimmy has more.
What?
Jimmy has way more personality than Jay.
No.
That's a fact.
That's true.
That's
true.
why if Jimmy was here, I would see him. I could invest in him more than Jay, because the one thing that Jimmy has that Jay does not have is personality.
Right, because we've seen that with his segments with Naomi.
Not even with or without Naomi, he has personality. That's what Jay does not have. Jay needs to bring out that personality to make us, the fans, be invested about what he's going to do against Reigns, because already Reigns and Heyman, they're carrying this, and the fact that they put Jay in this situation, it's going to be it's like an experiment to see what they're going to do with Big E in the long run once he gets his spotlight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because
it just feels. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, but I'm saying this.
I see. Go ahead.
I'm saying this right now. Come January, Big E is my pick to win the Royal Rumble. I'm saying this right now. I know it's early, but Big E is my pick to win the Royal Rumble. If he does not win the Royal Rumble, I'm going to be upset.
I mean, it's not the only way to get a guaranteed world title shot at WrestleMania. I mean, they have the Elimination Chamber as well. If they want to do it then, give Big E the title, the opportunity for the title then instead of the Rumble.
True, but like it makes.
But who else is really obvious in that sense to win the Rumble? No, I get it from that standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going back to the whole Reigns thing, once he won the title this past weekend, I knew he was going to hold on to it until at least WrestleMania. There was no way he was going to lose that title belt so soon, because not for nothing, Reigns has never held the WWE title or the Universal title for any significant amount of time. Mm-hmm. At most, it was like for 3-4 months, and he just dropped it. So he never got a prolonged title reign that was, at least in our heads, inevitable. Mm-hmm. For someone like him. So this is gonna be it right here. Him holding that Universal title alongside Paul Heyman. Mm-hmm. He's gonna get that prolonged title reign we've been anticipating. And depending on how they continue to push these two with their new directions and their new characters, I got no problem, honestly, with getting this match for Mania, at least right now. This is still in the early goings, and they haven't even started a feud yet. Mm-hmm. At least maybe not for a few more months, but if they do go with it, I don't really mind it all that much. If they do it for WrestleMania, so we'll see what they got up their sleeve in terms of the Universal title situation for the biggest show of the year.
Okay. So the next one in what's going on in the wrestling world is. And I really hate to say this, like I really do, because he's one of seriously, he's one of the best people ever, and they really let go of a really good commentator. Oh, Mauro Ranallo is no longer with WWE, and seriously, this is a big blow to WWE, because Mauro Ranallo is one of the best commentators I have ever seen next to JR. And he brings the personality, the voice, the hype towards the match in NXT, and now he's gone. And now I wish him all the best, but seriously, WWE, you lost a really good commentator. Like, seriously. Take out of all the commentators that you have in all three brands, including NXT UK, Mauro Ranallo was like literally the best commentator you've ever had today. It sucks to see him go, but I wish him all the best.
Yeah, it really does suck. Mauro Ranallo will be sorely missed from WWE, as he was a huge factor in people's enjoyment of NXT for the past few years. And not everyone liked Mauro and his commentary style, but you got to give it to him in that he stood out from the pack of mostly the basic and nondescript commentators that they have had for many years now. Ranallo's style and attitude was just infectious.
Yeah.
just infectious. His energy just seeped out from your TV screens. But it was an amicable split from both sides, so Mauro must not have been content with something in his role there. At least that's what I got out of this. And none of us really know what he wants to do now that he's no longer with the WWE. Maybe just continue on with doing announcing for MMA and boxing, but who knows? Like I said, it's a huge fucking loss for WWE. I mean, first they lost Renee Young, and now Mauro Ranallo. That's two big
2 for 2
assets that they've had in the company for many years now, and now they're just gone in the space of a few weeks.
But yeah, I like now the comment. Like, I'm not saying the comment. Okay, it's gonna go on to my next point. The next news in NXT. But with Mauro Ranallo gone, I'm not, and I know he's been replaced. Like, the new commentary team in NXT is Vic Joseph, Beth Phoenix, and Wade Barrett. I don't mind Vic Joseph being there. I really don't. But I'm gonna get to him in a second. But there's not. Mauro was just it. Like, it was just it. Like, he
Mauro
had
stood out from the
everything.
pack, like I said, dude.
He stood out from everybody.
Like, he had those characteristics to him that's just needed in a commentator for the ideal announcer. It's like nobody who else is really there to bring that excitement and that energy behind the booth during the matches.
Yeah. So, like, this now, like I said, back to Vic Joseph, this goes to the news on the next one. Go back to Super Tuesday, the main event, 60-minute Iron Man match for the NXT title. You had Balor, Gargano, Cole, and Ciampa. My Mount Rushmore of NXT.
All right. Yeah. You were the reason why we had that debate last week. When you mentioned that. But
my Mount Rushmore of NXT. And I'm not gonna lie. I love NXT to death, because out of everybody in the podcast, out of the 5 of us, I've been watching NXT since its inception since 2012, back when Seth Rollins was NXT champion. I watched episode by episode. But really, like, this match was honestly really boring.
Really boring.
It was boring. I'm not gonna lie. It was really boring because, like, the comments. This was the one match we needed Mauro for.
Agreed.
Like, this was the one match we really needed Mauro heavy. Vic Joseph, I like Vic Joseph because he did commentary for NXT UK, and he did really, really well. But the fact that you did commentary for this match, I'm like, dude, where's the personality? Where's the pizzazz? Where's this? Where's that? I'm like, your commentary is boring. Your commentary is boring. I felt like Wade Barrett had to carry the match in terms of his commentary. And that's why, to me, it was boring. But the commentary, number one, and number two, there was so many spots in the match was like, okay, do this, do that. It kind of slowed a little bit. Like, the match was slow. Too many commercial breaks.
Yeah, I was not a fan of the pacing that they did that they went with this match.
Yeah,
it was either too slow or it was too fast, if that made sense.
Here's all the negatives of the Iron Man match. Commentary was boring. Too many commercial breaks. The match was slow at some points. And then the final one was the ending. The final one was the ending. In terms of the ending, the fact that you had a tie. Alba, let me ask you something. Would this happen in the old NXT?
I doubt it. I don't think so.
Hell no! The old NXT, back in the day, the old NXT will not do this. If you literally had 4 of the top names in NXT, best and great NXT champions. You put so much, not only pressure, but so much value into the 60-minute Iron Man match. This match was takeover worthy, WrestleMania worthy, and you ended with a tie.
Listen, but
ended
before
with
you
a
but listen,
tie.
before you go on, let me just give my 2 cents on the match. So I
Okay.
thought the match overall was pretty good. For the 60 minutes it went, it did its thing. There were some dead spots, but I will at least go out and say that that was always a given, considering the huge runtime that they gave this one. I was not a fan of everything in the match, like the fact that most of the action consisted of two of the wrestlers at a time fighting off each other, while the other two were resting on the outside. That's too main roster light.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a go-to for main roster booking when they book these triple threats, fatal four ways, and others multi-man matches. I've just never been a fan of that. The last 10 minutes or so, I will say, were pretty damn great, though. Balor got the near fall to stay ahead, but within the last 10 seconds, Adam Cole came into the ring and nailed the last shot on Balor and just barely beat the time to score to tie the score between him and Finn. The referee clearly had to speed up the count for Cole as there wasn't enough time, and that was the intended finish they were going for. So it was just convenient for them to do so. So Cole and Balor were tied when the match ended, and William Regal, the NXT GM, of course, came out to announce that next week they will go at it one-on-one to kick off the show and crown a new NXT champion. And while we will get another great match out of it next week for sure, I did not like how they had Cole in the spot and not Tommaso Ciampa, as they just made it super obvious that Finn Balor is winning the title. Cole literally lost the belt 2 months ago off the longest NXT title reign ever. He's not going to win it back. I don't see it. By putting Ciampa in this position against Finn next week, it becomes unpredictable, and since it can really go either way. And yeah, they'll give away the match early on by doing that if they plan to have them feud somewhere down the road. But it could have been the proper start of that major feud for the NXT title that could span over a few months. I don't know why they didn't just go with that.
No, it's not. It's not even that. But Abba, you have to remember this. You have to remember this. You said a few months. They don't have a few months because you know why? The reason why they don't have a few months is because their next takeover is October 4th. They have 3 weeks. They have 3 weeks. Next week should have started the build towards the next takeover. And honestly,
and that's what I'm saying. They could have had the first Balor Ciampa match then. Balor barely wins, and since I might as well just go on and book this myself. But Balor beats Ciampa barely, but he does, and Ciampa loses his shit and beats the shit out of Balor, injuring him. And then there you go. There's your title match all set for the next takeover. That's what I would have done.
Right, and the next takeover after October, because over the past couple of days, I put it in our Wrestling Hypothesis Instagram page that the next takeover after October will be December 6th, which is also a Sunday. So after that, 2 months later, they have another takeover.
Yeah.
So am I mad that they have Balor and Cole next week for the NXT title sudden death? Yes, because you should have crowned your NXT champion that night. That's it. You didn't really have to do sudden death. You really don't.
A lot of people were furious with this finish.
I'm tight because seriously, you didn't really have to do sudden death for this because if you did sudden death, that puts more problems for you guys because that means once you do sudden death, what are you going to do for Ciampa? What are you going to do for Gargano? What are you going to do for Cole if he loses? Because right now, Balor's going to be the one to win. You see what I'm saying? What are you going to do with these 3 names? Because right now, Undisputed Era, currently right now, is on the crossroads of breaking up.
Right.
Not Balor. Ciampa, he came back. Yes, he's back to his psycho killer phase. Thank God. But what are you going to do with him next? Seriously, what are you going to do with him? Gargano, we don't know. And with
Ciampa, I do feel like they're going to put him back into the thick of things with the title scene. I really do think that after the Balor Cole title match reaches a conclusion with Balor winning, I think Ciampa's going to get himself involved afterwards, beat the crap out of Finn anyways, and there's your title program for the October 4th takeover show. That's going to be your title match. I think that's how they'll set it up.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Where does Adam Cole go from here? And speaking of Adam Cole, apparently there was a report going around the past few days that it was either going to be this finish. They were stuck between doing either finish. They had two choices. One, what they ended up booking on television with a tie between Cole and Balor, or Pat McAfee interfering in the match and costing Adam Cole the title.
Thank God that they did the tie, because if Pat McAfee came and cost him the championship match, one, I'll be tight, and two,
it's not necessary.
It's not necessary.
They did the one and done match. Adam Cole beat his ass, and that's it.
And then
what's the point in continuing it? Like, who wants to see, like, Pat McAfee? He did a great job with Adam Cole in the ring on Takeover 30 not too long ago. He did his thing, but who's clamoring for another match? Nobody. It's stupid. Like, I don't know why they feel the need that they need Pat McAfee at this point.
Right. And also, I want to say something too before we get into the next news. I want to say this, and like I said, this goes back to NXT. So for NXT, the fact that they're doing this, like these new things to combat AEW and stuff like that, I'm low key disappointed in NXT, because I'm like, back then you guys would never do this. Like, seriously, back then you would never do this. The fact that you guys are doing this now, it's like, step by step, you're making people lose interest in NXT. I will still watch NXT because it's better than Raw and SmackDown put together, but like it's like this. It's going like this instead of like this. And this goes now into the next topic of news. The next topic of news is that earlier this week, it's been reported that USA Network wants NXT to move to Tuesdays instead of Wednesdays. I, for one, am all for this. The reason why is because for the past almost month, NXT has run unopposed to AEW, and they had to switch nights back and forth, right? And because of this, NXT has ran really good numbers unopposed. Because look at the difference. When they're running unopposed, their numbers is between 800,000 and 900,000 viewers. But if you do run opposed to AEW, your numbers is between 500,000 and 700,000, borderline 600,000. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, that's the average viewership ratings that they've been getting.
Yeah.
When opposed with another wrestling company.
Exactly. And plus, not only that, Abba, the fact that they can move this to Tuesdays, I'm like, yo, that gives us, me, you, Kenny, Abba, Tara, everybody in the wrestling community time to breathe. Because like, instead of like, we don't need to go back and forth on Wednesdays from NXT to AEW. You see what I'm saying? So that way you have you have Raw on Mondays, NXT on Tuesdays, AEW on Wednesdays, and then you have SmackDown on Fridays. That gives us days to focus on every single show week to week, week after week after week. And plus, another thing, take out last Tuesday. This gives NXT more ideas to play with, especially the fact that you ran unopposed. Because back when you had NXT on the network, your brand shined more. You guys really brought your ideas to the table. You brought your excitement to the table. And now that you're combating with AEW, it's losing steam. NXT is losing its steam heavy. And if you move it to Tuesday, you can now focus on your content, making it better, and possibly crossing fingers to make the viewers be interested in NXT again.
Yeah. I definitely agree with what you're saying there. This is a big news story as it is. Like, I can only imagine how much bigger it'll get if they decide to go through with moving NXT to Tuesday nights. Mm-hmm. It looks like they will start to see a steady increase in their viewership numbers if they do that. Like, right. I'm just basing that off of what how they did this past week when NXT aired on Tuesday, and they got a higher rating than they've had in a long ass time.
Exactly.
And I'm sure a big reason for that it's because they're running unopposed to Dynamite, so more fans will be able to watch both shows every week if they want to. And like you, and I agree with you there. I think this is a great idea because apart from that reason that we are able to tune in and catch both shows properly every week instead of watching one show and then trying to make time to go back for the other show, the comparisons of both NXT and AEW, while they won't completely die down because people like you and me are always going to be comparing the two, period, it will go down a few notches because they are not airing on the same night. You know, all these fans and diehards of one promotion over the others have been egregious on social media from the start of the Wednesday Night Wars last year. NXT was a better show for weeks now. AEW is dead. They're gone. They're done.
Exactly.
Like, really? If people were smart, they wouldn't want one show to succeed and the other to flop. Not at all. You'd want both shows to succeed at the highest level. That's what we want to see. We want the best of both worlds, not the worst.
Exactly. And the thing is, for NXT right now, it's slowly but surely declining. But that doesn't mean they could bring it way back up, because they can. They can still do this. They can still do this because they have all the capabilities and the mindset to do this, and so on and so forth. But the thing is, what other people don't know is that USA wanted to put NXT on Tuesdays from the very beginning. And the fact that they didn't do it is because of bum-ass Vince, because he wanted to compete against AEW, because NXT is being used as a pawn to combat AEW, and it's not fair.
Yeah, it is. It just isn't fair.
It's not fair.
You're putting too much pressure on the wrestling, like on one wrestling promotion to be on an equal level with AEW, if not surpass that level. So it's like, and they just, in a sense, they really can't keep up. NXT and Triple H has to let NXT do its own thing.
Exactly.
And I feel like this is the right step to getting to that goal.
And not even that. I'll even do you one step further. Shit, I would like to put NXT back on the WWE Network, because when NXT was on the network, they had so much control. They had so much value and shit like that. I'm like, yo, this is what NXT was all about back when they were on the network. You see what I'm saying? I watched, Abba, you watched, and so on and so forth. When NXT was on the network, they did their thing. Takeovers was great.
But Rich, do you see that happening? Do you honestly see that happening?
Hell no.
Absolutely not. Once people got a taste of NXT on network television, you think they're going to go back to the network? Absolutely not. That's going to be a huge a downgrade for them.
Yeah. If they put NXT back on the network,
they're not going to make exactly. They're not going to make as much revenue off of it, and the exposure will be sliced twofold. It's going to be completely lost. Less people are going to be watching the network on a weekly basis.
Right.
Because then they'd have to get the network, and not everyone wants to get the network. Period. So they're not going to go back running to that idea.
Right. I just hope, honestly, I honestly hope, because I'm a diehard NXT fan. You know that. I'm a diehard NXT fan.
I am too.
So I really hope that they really pick up things that to make NXT go back to its glory days. Because I still think they could do it. I honestly think they could do it.
I mean, hey, at least maybe you don't agree necessarily, but hey, I've been enjoying NXT the past 2 weeks.
I have too. Okay. I just want them.
It's been a step up from what we've been getting the previous 6 months, honestly.
Right. I just want them to go back to the way they were, because they could seriously do it. They just gotta do it. But today, September 5th, All Out is tonight. And I'm saying this right now. My boy MJF will win that world title. Period. Because
you're getting so far ahead into it, man. So far ahead into these predictions.
Because
you really got to let it out.
That's the match I'm looking forward to the most. Seriously, the most. And also the AEW tag team titles, but we'll get to that in a second.
Oh yeah, we will.
MJF better win the AEW championship. Straight up. This man did a campaign. He had his own website. He called out Moxley on his bullshit about Renee. I'm like, yo, he even busted his ass open this past Wednesday on Dynamite. I'm like, yo, if this man does not win this world championship, I'm gonna be livid. He's been on a great streak and stuff like that. MJF will be the next top future face of this company in AEW. And I see him holding that championship for a long period of time with Wardlow in his corner, along with the heel tactics that he has, and he can face anybody in the AEW roster and stuff like that.
Rich, relax.
Son, MJF is my son.
Take a breath. Hey, he's my son too, man. I fucking love the dude. But let's get into it with the match card proper instead of this starting from the top and then working our way down. We'll do it the proper way, which is down to up. We'll do that. So, AEW All Out 2020 will be taking place later tonight for the AEW promotion. Card is looking stacked. A total of 10 matches, including one on the buy-in pre-show. Which, speaking of, we got Private Party against some members of the Dark Order. This was a replacement of the Britt Baker versus Big Swole tooth and nail match that was originally going to be in the spot in the show, but the fans got together and let AEW hear their displeasure over that decision, and they caved in and put that match on the main card, and this match was a replacement as a result. You know, I honestly didn't care too much about it one way or the other, what was going to be on the pre-show or the main card. It was one of the more enjoyable storylines, the whole Britt Baker Big Swole feud. I did like what they were doing, but yeah, it wasn't a huge deal to me that they were on the pre-show initially. But good for them that they got the main card in the end. And as for this match that they replaced it with, Private Party wins. They should win, honestly. They shouldn't be losing.
Private Party all day. Those are my boys. I know them personally. Those are my boys. I'm like, beat the Dark Order so that you can get one step further to those tag team titles you deserve. As for Britt Baker and Big Swole, I don't care. Yeah, I really don't care about this match, to be quite honest with you. It's been dragging on for way too long, so I'm like, if I had to pick somebody, Britt Baker.
Yeah, this is their first proper match in the feud on account of Britt being out injured for the past few months. So we're going to get this properly finally in some capacity. I was going to say the ring, but apparently this will begin at Baker's dental office, and it will be Falls Count Anywhere. And like you said, Britt Baker will win this. She should win. And I have been enjoying this feud as of late, so I hope that it won't end after this. We'll probably get a few more matches out of it.
Yep.
We have the Casino Battle Royale, where a winner will get a shot at the AEW World Championship. They can go a few ways with this, but I think that Eddie Kingston will win this Battle Royal, as he can take advantage of the little faction that he had set up over there with Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Bros. He'll last until the end. Then he'll dump out whoever's left standing from that faction, and he will win the match and get himself a future world title opportunity.
I'm for the Casino Battle Royal. I will have to agree with you, Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
My backup would be Darby Allin.
Okay.
But also, there's one name that hasn't been announced yet. And look, the last time AEW, this goes back to Double or Nothing, or was it Fyter Fest? I don't remember the two. There was one it was Double or Nothing. The mystery person was Brian Cage, and he won.
Okay.
So I'm curious to see who's going to be this mystery opponent in this match.
If there is going to be one, but I'm assuming
there is going to be one. There's one to be announced.
Okay, that's cool.
But I'm going with Eddie Kingston.
But who do you think would be? But since you brought up that whole mystery thing, who do you think it's going to be?
I honestly don't know. Like I can't think of anybody. I really don't know.
Okay. We got Young Bucks against Jurassic Express. I was not a fan of how this was set up to happen. with the two teams winning an 8-man tag at Dynamite earlier this week, and the winners would just randomly face each other. No story there at all, and it reeks of laziness, if you ask me. They just wanted to get these two teams on the card in some capacity. We'll get a great match out of it, but it could be better executed. It could have been better executed to get to this point. And the Young Bucks are winning. That's what I got.
Yeah, Young Bucks is winning. I love Jurassic Express. Love that team, but Young Bucks is winning.
Hey, we'll get a pretty good match out of it. So
we will.
Can't complain about it too much. Dark Order against Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, Dustin Rhodes, and QT Marshall. This should be fun, but I think I'm just going to be straight up. I think Brody Lee and Dark Order is winning here.
I also agree with you. Dark Order is winning because Dark Order right now has been on a great roll as of late, especially the fact that Brody Lee just won the AEW TNT title. So
why would he lose?
Yeah, he has so much momentum going on along with the Dark Order. Dark Order is winning. Yeah,
I agree. Brody Lee should not be taking a loss, even if it is him taking the pinfall here or not. But he should not be losing. Matt Hardy against Sammy Guevara in a Broken Rules match where if Hardy loses, he will be gone from AEW. Unless Hardy's looking to take a break from AEW for a bit to heal up from any possible injuries that we haven't really heard of, he ain't losing this match on account of that stipulation. Once they laid it out there, you knew Hardy was winning this.
Yeah, straight up. Like they kind of set themselves for the match ending. Like Matt Hardy is definitely going to win. The fact that Broken Rules match, if Hardy loses, he must leave AEW. Come on, you literally just set it up for Matt Hardy to win.
Exactly.
Matt Hardy's definitely winning.
Yeah, this feud has actually been pretty entertaining, I must say. Highlighted by that insane segment where Hardy got busted open pretty badly on that chair shot. That was brutal. Yes, that was brutal. But yeah, it should be interesting, that match. Hikaru Shida will be defending her AEW Women's title against Thunder Rosa. And I'm going to say this right now. This could be the sleeper match of the night. Both women are great in that ring and could give us a physical, all-action showing here. Thunder Rosa looked pretty damn good in her match with Serena Deeb on Dynamite this past week, so I'm looking forward to this a lot. Ultimately, it is only her second match with the company, and I don't see her winning the belt just yet so soon. So Shida is my pick to retain.
I'm going to have to disagree with you. I'm picking Thunder Rosa because here's the thing. The reason why I'm picking Thunder Rosa for this because, like, Shida has been champion, but, like, Thunder Rosa, like, the minute you see her, I'm like, yo, she is interesting. She is quirky. She knows what to do. And plus, not only that, she's the NWA Women's Champion. So she's the NWA Women's Champion and stuff like that. And the fact that she has so much value already, even before the match even began, pretty much brings her up. I do agree with you on this. This is a sleeper match. But I'm picking Thunder Rosa instead of Shida. I'm picking Thunder Rosa.
Okay, I do see where you're coming from with your logic there. Like you strike while the iron's hot. She is pretty great. But I don't know. I'm kind of leaning more towards them keeping the title put on Hikaru Shida. But we'll see. Chris Jericho against Orange Cassidy in a You see how it's the morning. Look at you. In a Mimosa Mayhem match. There you go. The match can be won by pinfall, submission, or by throwing the opponent into a tank of mimosa.
This match is going to be the most fun match ever because this match, Mimosa, I love mimosas. Mimosas, Jericho, Cassidy, I'm like, yo, this match is going to be entertaining as hell. The person I'm picking to win is Orange Cassidy. I'm picking Orange Cassidy to win, just like I said in what match we were just talking about.
Shida, Thunder Rosa.
No, not that. The Dark Order, Momentum. I see Orange Cassidy winning. He has momentum going. Both men have momentum, and actually, I have no problem if whoever wins this match. I have no problem whoever's going to win this match at all. Because
I don't think I don't think the loser here is going to really lose much in the way of momentum.
Exactly. So I'm like, you know what? I don't care who wins. This match is going to be entertaining. This match is going to be great. It's weird, but in a good way. So yeah, I don't care who wins. This match is gonna be great.
Yeah, this is their third matchup together in the ongoing feud, and I do think it's getting played out by this point. They really should have moved on after the second match, and they could have revisited it later on because
Mm-hmm.
this was a money feud. But I do think Cassidy will win by throwing Jericho into the tank of Mimosa, which will be fun, interesting to see. That'll be a sight.
Right.
Yeah. Kenny Omega and Adam Page against FTR for the AEW Tag Team titles. This will be the match I'm looking forward to the most on the
Mm-hmm.
entire show. I
Mm-hmm.
expected FTR to face Young Bucks at this event, since that still is the big match we are all anticipating to see at some point, but they wanted to go a slightly different direction. And it's not too far from the Young Bucks match. And what else can I really say? It's going to be an excellent tag match, and I think it is time.
Mm-hmm.
FTR is winning the tag titles on this night.
Oh, FTR is definitely winning, hands down. FTR is definitely winning, hands down. I said Adam. I was about to say Adam Cole, Adam Page. Like they kind of viewed this on Wednesday's episode. I'm like, yo, like Adam Page, like, he's been kicked out of the Elite. Even Kenny Omega, they're throwing the little bits and pieces of the heel turn. I'm like, yo, FTR has to win this match.
Right, but who do you, on account of who's turning on who? Because I'm assuming it'll happen this match, in this match, maybe during the match, after the match. But who do you think is turning on who between Omega and Page? Because they could swerve us, and they can go a few
Omega,
different directions with this.
they could swerve us, have Omega turn. Like it's more leaning towards on Page, but they could give us a swerve, and Kenny Omega could be the one to, like, screw them.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, FTR is definitely winning, hands
Yes.
down.
Yes, I do think so too. And Kenny Omega, if I were to predict, I will say that Kenny Omega will be the one to turn on Hangman Page. That's what I think will happen. Maybe not during. I think it's going to be post match though. There's going to be a miscommunication sometime during the end of the match, the later stages, and they will lose. That will cause them to lose, and Omega's going to take it on to Hangman Page.
Yep.
That's where I think the story is going to go here.
Mm-hmm.
And in the main event, Jon Moxley, MJF, AEW World Title on the line. We already know your thoughts on it, and then some. But to give my take on it, I was all set to. You know what? I'm still gonna pick MJF. I'm still gonna pick MJF to win the title here. But at the same time, I'm not as sure as I was just a few weeks ago, as this feud has been progressing the way it has been on television. I would not be all that surprised, honestly, if Jon Moxley does end up retaining the World Championship. I don't know. It's just a feeling I've been getting. It's just a feeling I've been getting with watching this feud unfold the way it has been lately. And people have been calling out MJF. Is he even ready properly to have the world title at this stage in his career? Like he has, like, don't get me wrong, MJF is far from a total package. He really is. He still has a long way to go to be one of the best all rounders in AEW.
Right.
Like his wrestling is, his wrestling is not all that amazing. I've only seen him, like, he hasn't had that many big wins himself, but he's had good showings here and there. And MJF, as terms of a talker, he's one of the best. Period. He's shown it with us week in and week out whenever he's holding that mic. So, but at the same time, I don't know. I've been getting, like, I just have a gut feeling now and second thoughts on this whole, on the result outcome of this match.
Right.
But I still am picking MJF to win the match here.
MJF all day.
Like everyone knows at this point, man.
Yup.
Everyone knew from the start. Yeah. But those are our thoughts, and you guys can, and I hope everyone enjoys the show tonight, and I hope that maybe sometime, if not tomorrow, then definitely by Monday, we'll be posting our review, our thoughts on the All Out show that takes place tonight. So you guys can hear our takes then, and what transpires, the outcomes, the results, and whatnot. And Yeah, we'll end it there for this episode. Hope you guys all enjoyed episode 34 of Wrestling Hypothesis. Be sure to follow us on Facebook or Instagram for any updates on the show, as well as on news reports on wrestling that you can find out through us. That's just another way, of course. We will be back, like I said, sometime in the next few days for All Out 2020 review. And so until then, have a good one, guys. Take care.
Take care.
Enjoy the show.